Hello, I'm Richard Hooper and this is SatTV Week. Now I'm pleased to be joined by Mitja Lovsin of STN. Mitja, thanks for joining us. The last time we spoke, I think, was at IBC last year. There's been a lot of changes in the satellite industry and there's a lot of disruptive technologies coming in, but how is that filtering into the world of teleports?
Yes, Richard. Well, thank you for having me again, and it's a pleasure to be here, this time in Singapore. And yes, I mean, there has been, and probably will be in the future, a lot of changes in the satellite industry in general, and for teleports that would mean a big change as well. We have seen lots of trends, let's say traditional broadcasting slowing down due to the new technologies. We have seen also here in this exhibition in particular the 5G, a lot of talk about around the 5G, what the satellite, how big the satellite role will play in this new technology, mobile technology. So yeah, I mean, a lot of things are changing, and I think that the people who will be adapting to these new technologies, new things coming up, so Internet of Things, self-driving mobile vehicles, and all of that which is coming in the next few years for sure. And I think that in that respect, the satellite will play a big role in this. And I think that the people actually who years back said the satellite will slowly be obsolete, I think they were wrong, because in all these new technologies that are coming now, I think the satellite will play a major role. So I think that in one respect, on the broadcasting side, where things are slowing down, yeah, maybe in some of the areas, the satellite is not that important anymore. But in the other areas, the new areas like Internet of Things, the 5G networks, I think there the satellite will play a major role in the future. So the future is bright, I think, for the satellite operators. As we know, there will be a lot of new satellite operators around in the next few years, which originally didn't do or weren't the satellite operators, but were in a different type of business. And if they decided, and these are some major leaders in the world technology today, if they decided to launch thousands of satellites, I think that the satellite has a very bright future.
Now, with regards to teleports, they're not actually considered the sexy part of the industry, but they're critical. Can you explain why?
Yes, I mean, the satellite itself is a great thing, but without a ground infrastructure, the satellite doesn't do anything. So the teleports are a vital part, the connectivity between the Earth and the satellite, and vice versa. And that's why, and you're right, it's not a sexy business, it never was, but it's a business which is very exciting in terms of the new things, as I explained before. There's always something going on, and I think that at the end of the day, if you run teleport like we do, I think you meet a lot of interesting people, and you have an honor to meet a lot of, let's say, important people around the world that you can do the business with, and it's always something exciting going on. So at the end of the day, in my view, yes, it is sexy, it is exciting, and it's a vital part of the satellite industry. Without the teleports, there's no satellite.
Now, we hear a lot about cybersecurity and the problems, and it's not just related to satellite, it's related to everything. What effect is this having on the teleports, and how are you addressing it?
Well, we have always been very careful, even in the past, to have an equipment in place which would, I mean, nothing can prevent, a real cyber attack. There is no equipment. They are always, let's say, a step ahead. However, I don't think that teleports are under major threat. I think there are other more, let's say, as we use the word sexier companies around, which these people would like to attack, and they are attacking it constantly. And they have to have a serious team of people in place, which, these days, I think every serious business have to have a team of people who are dealing with the cybersecurity. This has become a major issue. We see here at the exhibition as well. There is a lot of people dealing with that, addressing that. There's a lot of conferences on that. There are even individual conferences which are happening around the world on the cybersecurity itself. We have wrote a paper actually a while ago on cybersecurity, and I think it will be, it is something that it needs to be addressed by everybody. It is something that will be very important in the future, because if you are under cyber attack, I mean, you can lose the whole business. just because of somebody having fun. And this is something that we all have to prevent and fight.
Now, there are a lot of teleports. So how do you have that edge over your competitors?
Well, Richard, if I may be a bit naughty here, and I must say that in the let's say, especially in the past couple of years, we have seen a lot of mergers, takeovers, and to be honest, we are very lucky that was happening, because all of this, what was happening in a couple of years, it was a big benefit to us. I'm not going into the reason why, but clearly that all of these new companies spring out of mergers and takeovers, acquisitions, have been very good for us. So please, the people who are doing that, let's just continue doing. I mean, we are getting a lot of business out of that. So for us, it's a great thing. So we are hoping that it will continue.
So looking forward, what are your new plans? Are there any developments for the teleport itself, new technologies, new installations?
Yes, as I mentioned, in the first point, the satellite industry is changing, so we have to change, as a teleport operator, and we already started the first step. We already won the first project in that direction. We have been, from the start, really, more of a broadcast type of teleport, where we are still distributing over 600 channels. However, we have in the past couple of years looked beyond that and see what else can we do, and we won some, as I said, some of the really nice projects, and there are some new installation going up, the Ka band antennas, the big Ka band antennas for Internet of Things, for 5G networks. So we kind of had to adapt to the new technologies, and we are going and we are talking to everybody, all the major players who will be made, future major players, and there is a lot of opportunity, because infrastructure, that means the ground infrastructure, which of course has to connect to the satellite, in Slovenia is very good. We have, let's say, 10 gigabyte capabilities for several years, more than 5 years now, and we have unlimited, basically, bandwidths, coming in, even 140 gigabits, 100 gigabits capabilities. I mean, from the ground infrastructure that these people, this let's say satellite, new satellite operators will need, is actually already there. So basically, we are talking to them because part of the services, we want to have a part of the services that they are doing, and they will need the teleports like us to do part of their services. So I think that the future is very, very promising. We are very, very optimistic about it. And as I said, the first couple of projects have already been won. We are already installing some new platforms for the antennas, which are coming later this summer for the installation. So yeah, it looks very, very bright, the future.
Mitja, thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard.